Okay, now this is the Guadalupe Trail again. It's a little further down, not much further from where we last ended. And this is a side branch. Man-made, of course, like all the other trails, but not bordered in. The trees do grow in here. I personally have trimmed them back several times. We are walking the trail. These are the trails you have to be careful for. Snakes like them. They're cooler. Rodents like them. People like them. You'll find trash by people back in here. You'll find grasses. These are a grass, long stemmed, very narrow leaves. There are grasses everywhere in here. They're not the St. Augustine grass, but like wheat, this produces a large head on it where you can find all the seeds. Very cool. It may even resemble some seeds of some type of native wheat plant that was grown years ago by Native Americans. I don't know. Keep coming along. Oh, and look what we have here. We have an example of some more vines. Look at this. Comes right off. This here is a muscadine vine still. But what's behind it, the hairy rope, is potentially poison ivy. I have been told the hairy ropes look like poison ivy. I do not know. What I do know is down here at my feet, this little plant here is another stem of vine type stem. Kind of neat. You can see right here that we have some stems coming off. 3 leaves. 3 leaves off one stem. 3 leaves off one stem. This may be poison ivy in itself. I do not know. I need to do more research. That is, though, Virginia creeper with 5 leaves. This is unknown. 3 leaves. Zoom in a little better. 3 leaves. 1 stem. Not red, though. There are plenty of plants in here that can resemble poison ivy. It's a mimicry. They do it to preserve themselves so people and other animals do not consume them. It's quite an interesting technique animals and plants have developed, and insects, to protect themselves from destruction by other critters. Is mimicry. You know, if you think about it, man does that too. What do we like to imitate? We like to imitate the things that protect us. The strong people. The forceful people. And if you think about it, we're part of nature, so we are animals and we do mimicry. And here's a really cool thing along this trail. This splits back off, goes back up the top of the trail up there. We were much earlier. But over here on the right, that is the base of a very, very large cypress. Been here very long time. It goes way up there above the canopy that we can see. That cypress tree is very large. It's no less than 4 feet across. Not one of the bigger cypress still down here. There are some that are slightly larger. Actually, I think there's one that's much larger. I just don't remember where it's at. But we'll look for that down the ways another time. But here, this trail, actually, I'll show you where it goes. That was my original intention. Not to get distracted and show you other stuff along the way, but show you where this trail goes. This trail goes down to that little brook we was telling you about. This little brook leads back to that big chasm. This bridge crosses that little brook. The little brook is dried up over here. It has no water coming in. But back in there is a channel that was eroded out heavily by the rains in 2002. This was flowing just a few months ago. There was lots of water in here. Now it's become stagnant and stale. Good spot for breeding of mosquitoes. Over here you have some more cypress trees and other root trees. These are cypress nodules sticking out of the ground from cypress trees. That is how they respirate and keep themselves healthy, is having enough knees above the ground, and so to speak, to above the water to be able to consume oxygen even in flood times. There's a stagnant film across there, as you can see. Not a pleasant water to drink. Not a pleasant thing to get into. But this channel is chock full of rocks all the way up it. It goes way back. I'm not going to go trekking through this muck. I don't have my good boots on. I don't have my good boots on. I don't have my bad boots on. And I don't want to get stuck in the mud. Or drop the nice phone. Another time, another day. But underneath this edge here, you may not see it yet until next time. But there's a lot of caverns and nesting areas. This is a nesting area for animals. They have dug back in the soft soil, made themselves a very nice habitat. I will not go disturb them. I do not wish to get bitten. I do not wish to interfere with them. Skunks, squirrels, raccoons, snakes, to name a few, not to mention the foxes around here, all have their own habitat in here. Now here's another nice example of a cypress tree. If you look right up, it grows very, very tall, very healthy tree, very gorgeous, great canopy up there. It's got a wide open base down here, not much around it to smother it out. Here we go, folks. A great example of a Turk's cap. Now you can see what a Turk's cap looks like up close. Let's see if I can zoom in on this for you. See the world pattern? Sorry about the photography. This is a cheap camera, but that is what I'm doing this with, just to give you an idea of what I do for daily living. The world pattern, 5 leaves, the stem, the stamen coming up, pistil. You have it over here again, 5 leaves, and then beside you already have the fruit from when it's falling off and when it's falling off. And you have a green fruit over here. This is a Turk's cap. Let me show you something over here though, on the other side of this cypress tree. Over here, this is what's really cool. The water is dried up over there, but look down. Water. Where is it coming from, you ask? There is, underneath that fern over there, a little natural spring that bubbles up. I've watched it myself. It's a gorgeous spring. In the spring time, so to say, it is constantly flowing. Let's see if we can get around to it right now. This might take a little traversing to get over there, but we'll try. Gotta watch my footing. Watch out for critters that slither. Though there have been very few sighted since I've been here at this job, they still exist, and you must always be cautious and respectful of them. You are in their habitat, not the other way around. There's also this numerous spider webs, which I do not want to get incorporated into. I do not want to carry them home with me. Now you can see the fern a lot better over here, but you still can't see the spring. It's very slow flowing right this time of year. The aquifer's down, the natural springs seep up from the ground where the moisture is at, and at this time of year it's kind of hard to see because the weather is very dry, very hot, and a lot of the springs have dried up and the moisture in the ground. So the seepage coming from that spot there is so slow you can't tell it. When we've had fresh rain, the seepage is quite often much larger and is easier to see. Down here is a really cool example of decomposition too. You have mushrooms growing on a dead tree, consuming it, helping break it down. Well, they don't consume it, I'm sorry. They just sort of leach off of it, so to say. That means there's a great composition going on there. This somehow is an old telephone pole that got down here. Ask me how, I don't know. It was not here a few months ago. We'll head back out to the main road, main edge of this area, and you can watch and look for. This area too is usually moist as the stream got diverted and came down this way. You can see where it pooled over there into a nasty stagnant cesspool. We've got to stay away from it so we don't disturb the mosquito growth. I don't want to put up in front of their dinner tonight. A couple more great examples of cypress trees. Very good girth on them. Yeah, dead tree got wrapped up in some vines and is hanging there, just suspended in animation, sort of to say. And you come over here, and you have one of our benches hidden in the trees. It is actually became a dinner at times to the local varmints. Look right here. The teeth chawed, gnawing here. We assume has been done by the beavers or the local nutria. Not sure which, but all the plastic hard benches like this have been gnawed on, consumed. One of them is almost chewed in half, which tells me there's a good flavor to that plastic. I'm just not sure what it is. A natural knot hole there. You can see inside the cypress tree we just passed. And just so you know, these are hardwood trees here, growing here. Very nice hardwood trees. We got a nice setup of ferns here. The presence of ferns and the cypress tell you this is a good moist environment. Ferns like this type of environment. Very nice to work with if you're into this. If you can hear that sound in the background, that is the water coming out of the base of the dam right now. It's just beyond the trees. I'm beginning to get swarmed by some mosquitoes. I may not stay here much longer. We've got some beautiful purple flowers along the trail. Some different examples of plant vegetation and grasses. Much more than here in the lower areas along the riverbed area than you would up above. These grasses are growing in a minor bog. It has begun to dry up because of the lack of rain, but they grow here because of the moist environment. Same with these beautiful little trees. Moist environment is very inviting to them, but you can see they have little yellowing on them too. They're beginning to feel the effects of the heat. Less rain than they're used to. Again, you can see it. Nice sturdy tree. Beautiful growth. And it's an environment that's inviting to them that allows them to grow here. A few months ago when we had a little rain, this place was a bog and I could not cross it. That is another trail that goes up. Actually, it's a runoff trail. Not an accessible trail, but a runoff trail. Excuse me. Let's pause right here.